So as mentioned，在我们的 normal distribution 里面其实是很常用到的，包括我们的成绩、我们的 height、我们的很多很多的东西。But let's have a look. What other kind of applications can we encounter? Modeling a normal distribution, the mass of a newborn baby in a certain region is normally distributed with mean of 3.35 kg and variance of 0.0858. Estimate how many of the 1356 babies born last year had masses of less than 3.5. So again, 如果是我的话，我会 reword it so it's easier for me to understand. 然后我们的 probability of x less than 3.5. Yep. In 1,356 babies. 我会这样子去写。Okay? So, in this case, let's find the z value. So, the z value is equals to 3.5 minus 3.35 over 我们的 0.0858. So, that results into 我们的 0.512. Using the standard normal distribution table or z table, 我们可以找到它是 0.6957. So this is basically looking around the table lah. Now, 这个是我们的 probability of x lower than 3.5. But they're asking so that it's 1,356. 所以我们就是拿 0.6957 times 我们的1356，就等于93.362. But 问题是这一个是 newborn baby. Okay? Remember, this is a newborn baby. So, that means, 而且他们是 ask for how many? 他们是 newborn baby 嘛 So that means 我们要进位多一个位置，因为他们讲943，所以 we consider as there were about 94 newborn babies. Okay? 因为不可能有点3的人数的嘛，对不对？ So that's the reason. Just round it up. The next one. Modeling a normal distribution, a factory produces half liter of the tin oil. The volume of the oil is in a tin is normally distributed with a mean of 506.18 milliliters, not mil, and standard deviation 2.96. What is the percentage of the tin contains less than half of a liter oil? So question A 就是讲着先找出我们的那个 normal distribution, because they are asking for at least a half, 对不对？也就讲说我们的 x value for n bracket 506.18 的 square, 然后我们的 probability 是 x lower than 500. So z is literally equals to 我们的500减去506.18除以2.96. So that results into negative 2.088. So P is x lower than 500. 这里我们要做的是1 minus 我们的 gamma 2.8088. Or 5, actually not gamma, it's 5. 然后就是得到的是1减0.9816, which is the same as 0.0184. So, find the probability exactly 1 out of 3 randomly selected tin is less than half a liter oil. So 也就讲这 exactly 3个里面选1. So we choose 3, choose 1. So, what are the chances of winning? Or getting that is 0.0184, because we only have 1. 然后有2个是 fail, 就是 more than 的. 所以 that results into 0.0532. Okay, so this is mixing up with the binomial distribution with 我们的 normal distribution. It can happen. Normal approximation to the binomial distribution 就是我们刚刚发生出来的东西。Okay? So, 如果我们要找出，我们有经过很像这样子的问题，如果我们要 exactly 60的话 with 100 tosses 我们的 probability 是多少？ That's true. But 如果是要你找出来 more than 呢？就算你做40的情况哦，你的 valid 做的情况哦也是会很难的。So that's the reason why 我们就要用 normal distribution 的方式来去 help out in the situation. But how? Let's have a look. 所以我们这里有4种 normal distribution, 4 binomial distribution for n equals to 20, 也就是我们的 test result sample 有20的。Okay? 那 no matter what, 你会发现到它们的形状，无论它的那个 mean 在哪里 ，OK， 它们的 expected value 它们的 mean 在哪里 ，it's always the same shape, no matter how small or how big it is. So, the binomial distribution has approximately normal shape if 我们的 NP and NQ are both bigger than 5. So as long as 我们是有这一个 condition, 我们就可以拿来 approximate 它的 distribution. So that's the reason why I keep sometimes 我会 mess up between binomial and normal distribution because they are quite similar. And you can see that it's actually linked together. 也就是讲这呢，我可以用在 binomial distribution 里面，只要我的 NP is bigger than or smaller, NP 或者 NQ bigger than 5的时候，那也就是我们的 expected value, okay? If it's fail or successful, 只要是 bigger than 5，我就可以用这个 condition. So let's have a look. The binomial distribution is discrete and normal distribution is continuous. 所以这里就是另外一个问题了，它们两个是不同的情况。But when we approximately do that, a discrete value such that x equals to 12, it must treat it as a continuous. 很像我们之前每次讲的 how can we do it from 我们的 non-frequency to frequency 这个样子 extend to continuous. 所以这个就是为什么是 12.5, also between 12.5 and 13.5 for x equals to 13. 所以也就讲着 we must replace either in both of them. So let's have a look. What does that mean? 也就是讲着我们会有 if we wish 我们的 p of x that's lower than 13的时候，那我们 expected 的是 x equals to 12.5。可是如果有等于的时候呢，我们是 13.5。And of course, if it's bigger, 我们就要 take the larger value. Okay? 然后有包括等于的时候，我们就要选择这个 smaller value. So these are the things to making continuity correction. But obviously, this is for approximation. Of course, this is for A level only. If you go to like university, yeah, good luck. Anyways, so given that x is with the binomial distribution of 100 and 0.4, use the suitable approximation and continuity correction to find the x more than 43. So again, we have to make sure one thing. Our condition must be NP must be bigger than 5. So what is our n here? 我们的 n 是100 or p times p is 0.4, 我们 get 40. So we can use the condition. Okay, so as we expected, 我们如果用回我们的那个 formula sheet, 我们其实看得到我们的 expected 是多少的。For binomial, is NP, 这就是我们的 mean, 然后我们的 standard deviation, or maybe not square, which is variance, is NP bracket 1 minus P, or NPQ. So hence, in this case, mu P is equals to 我们的40，然后 也就是我们 not mu p，mu is equals to 40，我们的 variance is equals to 24，也就是40乘60乘100。So 我们可以把它 represent 成 normal distribution for approximation 40 and 24. So let's do that. So for x is smaller than 43, okay, so let's find our z value. Again, 因为这个是 discrete 的关系，所以 we have to make it continuous. And it's lower than 43, right? So we have here, okay, our mean is 40, so that obviously is going to be bigger 啦。因为我们的 expected at first is 43嘛，对不对？ So that means 这一边左边的我们有一个是 42.5， 右边的是 43.5. Since they are asking for lower than 43, we will take the lower one. Okay? So that means 我们这里是 42.5 minus 40 over 我们的 square root of 24, which is equals to 0.51. Okay? So that means sig phi of 0.510, which is equals to 695. That's for question A. For question B, again, 如果是我的话，因为我们要找的是 bigger than the region, which we have to use the upper one, which is 43.5. But we have to make sure we minus that to find the yellow region.也就是我们的 43.5 minus 40 over square root of 24, which is equals to 1 minus 0.7623, which is the same as 0.2377. And 3 significant figure, do they want? No, it's fine. Then we can leave it like that. Okay, let's try it out. The next one. Boxes are packed with 8,000 randomly selected items, which is known as that 0.2% of the items are yellow. Find using the user-suitable approximation of the probability that a box contains fewer than 20 yellow items. Okay, so again, 他们的 expect 是什么？我们的 expectation 是 x is smaller than 20 for the probability. So what does that mean? 这里也就是讲着，我们这里就会把它写成 p bracket x smaller than 20. Do we know our NP? Can we use our approximation here? Let's check it out. 我们的 NP 是等于多少？也就是我们的 mu。我们的 mu 在这里，它是等于我们的8000乘以0.002。So that results into 我们的16. In this case, 我们的 NPQ 也就是我们的这个是我们的 mean， 这里是我们的 sigma square, which is variance. In this case, 这里我们就可以得到 15.968. Hence, 在这里我可以找到的是我的 P approximate is at， 因为我们要 lower than 20嘛， so we have to make sure our Z value is equals to 19.5 minus 我们的16, because that's our mean, over the square root of 15.968, which is equal to 我们的 phi of 0.876. So 根据我们的那个 Z table, 我们就可以得到 0.8094. Now, what is the second question? Exactly 2 out of 3 randomly selected box contain fewer than 20 yellow items. So 也就是讲这3个里面会有2个的 chances 是多少 of this probability. So that results into when the y equals to 2的时候，也就是我们的 binomial distribution. 3 out of 3, we choose 2. Yep. And then we times it by 我们的 success rate, times it by a square, and then times it by 我们的 fail rate. 我们就可以得到 0.375. That's how we can settle 这一个 probability 的问题。The last one. Example 5. A fair coin is tossed. Wow, what an odd number. 1,888 times. Find use of a suitable approximation, the probability that the coin lands heads up at most 450 times. 所以就讲这我们的 binomial distribution 这里 0.5 的时候。So it looks like 我们可以用 binomial distribution 嘛，对不对？ Looks like it, but not really. Okay, so 我们要用的是我们的 normal distribution. So 我们先看一下我们的 NP， 我们的 NP 是444，也就是等于我们的 mu, which is bigger than 5. Good, we can do with it. 那如果我们是 NPQ， 也就是我们的 variance， 我们会等于多少呢？是222。So what is the normal distribution here? The normal distribution of x is equals to 444,222, and we have to find p at most 450嘛，所以就是 small x is smaller than or equals to 我们的450。In this case, 因为我们是 at most, okay, so we have to choose 0.5. Okay, so out of that distribution, 我们要选的是 so for example here is 我们的450，因为我们有等于的关系，我们要选的是 450.5。 So hence 我们这里我们可以做的东西是probability of x smaller than or equals to 450 is equals to phi of z 是多少？450.5减444除以222的 square root. So in this case, it's 0.6686, and that's how we'll find our answer. So congratulations, you have finished your statistics 1, and good luck with your pure maths 3 and statistics 4, if you are studying with me. Right.